And now we're gesturing to Ra, and we're asking for Ra to join us as well, because you see, Ra was a future being, quote unquote, to those of us who came from the time that we think of as planet Earth 2015. And when I say that, I am aware that my words are being translated not only into their language, but into a dating system that makes sense to them. And they know what I mean by that.
Yes, that's true.
And they're going, oh, ooh, because that is really a long time ago.
Yes.
It's like saying 2 million years ago.
Yes.
And we're saying that Ra was to us a far distant future being, because he was from 100,000 years in the future of us, which is only 1.9 million years in your past.
Right, that's true.
And so they're laughing about how cute and quaint it is that we considered Ra a future being.
Right. Ra is stepping forward.
Yes. And he seems so calm.
He does, very calm.
Very peaceful. And he seems like someone that these beings like. They like him.
Yes.
They like him. And he's saying, friends, we don't know what the solutions are. We don't. None of us do. But we can tell how to discover what the solutions are. And that is to put our channels up, to let go of the ideas that we can discern the answers from our old ways of living.
Yes.
To let go of the ideas that we can discern the answers from each other.
Yes.
To let go of the ideas that we can discern the answers from the worlds around us. And for all of us to recognize that we are strands in a tapestry, and that all these strands woven together create the all that is.
Yes.
And in the time of the awakening, when all of us put our individual channels up and ask what is ours to do right now to trigger the awakening right now, in this way and only in this way can we be like a flock of birds who's headed in the right direction, not the wrong one altogether. Like a school of fish who's headed in the right direction, not the wrong direction altogether. Who has heard of lemmings who will follow each other over the cliff?
Lots of hands up. Lots of hands up.
We don't want to be lemmings.
No.
We want to fly to the rising sun, or to the North Star, or to whatever metaphor works for you that means awakening.
Yes, everyone seems to be nodding and agreeing.
And in this way, we can create a new beginning that includes wildness. And so now Ra is turning to Pan, and he says, he's holding out his hand.
Yes.
And he's saying something like, welcome you, and will your friends follow you?
There seems to be big agreement from the crowd.
Well then, friends, we have an awful lot of work to do. We don't know whether, this is Ross continuing to speak, we don't know whether or not you've noticed, but when you look up from here and you can see the bottom of the physical dimension, can you see those, it looks like rats or bats or something horrible hanging underneath the physical dimension?
Yes, everyone seems to say yes, yes.
And that those are non-physical beings, supposedly helpers, quote unquote, that are obviously not helpers, but exploiters and something negative. Hurtful rather than helpful. Does everybody see that?
Yes, everyone seems to be agreeing. They say yes, yes.
Yes, and now the question is what to do about it, isn't it?
Well, several of the factions seem to want to grab like pitchforks and torches, like Frankenstein's monster movie.
We entirely understand, and to be honest, that is exactly how this fine band of us started out 2 million years ago. And here's what we discovered. We discovered that that wasn't the way to achieve lasting change, that hatred is never healed with hatred. Through love alone is hatred healed. And we have learned that we can only heal what we can sustain a merge with. And so what we actually must do is look inside ourselves and find out, how are we exactly like these? We can see it's disgusting what they're doing, right? Who can see that? I can certainly see it.
Right.
But I can find slivers of that in myself. And so now, rather than saying it's those bad people who are the problem, I'm be able to own it and say, I am part of the problem too.
I am part of the problem.
I am part of the problem too. And now Pan's saying, and I am part of the problem
And
too.
I am part of the problem too.
And I am part of the problem too.
I am part of the
now
problem
some of
too.
the others, some of them, not
Some
many,
of
but a
them.
few are saying,
I'm
I'm part of the problem too.
too.
So now, friends, we invite those of you who wish to consider how we might all be part of the problem to join us. And those of you who don't, it's okay. And we're not telling you to not do anything. We're not.
That's true.
But we're saying, leave me out of it. I don't wish to be a part of a conflict. Leave me out of it. If you wish to grab the pitchforks and the torches and go after those rats, it's okay. We understand. We understand, but we don't wish to be a party to that.
No.
So if those of you who wish to work in the way of calling each other in to our greatness, in the way of finding a commonality, not a divisiveness,
Yes.
then come with us. And the rest of you, we honor the wildness. And perhaps this is a natural disaster, quote unquote, in the making. And so it is not for us to judge the life or work of another.
Right.
If that's what you feel called to do with your channels up, then by all means do it. But pause first. Don't rush to action without taking that evaluative step of channels up, asking, what is mine to do right now? And we can say it this way. We can say, I think we should be a natural disaster and fry the bottom of the physical dimension. This is the direction in which I'm heading. Stop me if it's wrong.
Right, that's true.
Pan is nodding and he's looking at his friends and now we are all dismissed and Pan is completing
I see.
the talk, and he's saying that he understands them and that he loves them, and he's offering them these two ways of going about it, both of which have as an integral component to verify what is ours to do. And he's reminding them how it hurts us. We are the ones who suffer when we take action without checking upstairs first, because the law of cause and effect is real.
That's
the
true.
law of karma is real. And if we go attacking without checking, then how can we be surprised when we are attacked?
That's true.
They get that.
Yes, everyone seems to...
They get that. That stopped a
Nod.
bunch of people in the tracks. They went, whoa.
Yes.
And they're talking amongst themselves about mountaintop removal, mining, and about rape of the oceans, and and destruction of soil, and murdering with pesticides of pollinators, etc., etc. And they're saying it's true, it's true, it's true. Let's ask. And they're starting to try. And Asha is sitting up. She's kind of like on a stretcher or something we're carrying.
Yes, it's true.
And she's sitting up and she's talking, she's saying she remembers when she was teaching classes in the nature realms and how it was the best group of students that she had had in any dimension.
Yes,
and she's reminding Pan of that. She's got some kind of like a little walkie-talkie, communication with Pan, a private communication, and she's reminding him of it, and he's speaking of that now to the crowd, and he's saying, she is the one who taught you all those millions of years ago. And they're looking at her like they sit up and go, what? And they look at her, and Pan is saying, it's her, right there. And they all pull out, it looks like their Bibles, and they're looking at the little picture, and they're looking at her and looking at the picture, and they go, oh.
Yes. Some people in the back have little binoculars.
Yes. And now there's a bunch of candles lit. And I don't know what that means, but it's not torches, and it's not pitchforks. It's candles and peaceful. And it's like now they're walking out of this cavern.
And singing a little.
And singing, and they're going to do something.
Yes.
Well, this can only be good.
That's my perception too.
I think they're going to create a miracle.
It feels like a miracle.
It does. A peaceful miracle. Wow, Pan's got tears in his eyes. And he's walking over, like his speech is done. He's walking over and he's nodding to us. And he's also saying, well, you know, what will be will be. It might not end well, but it's beginning well.
That's true.
And how here we go.